Hey everybody, it's Mary Black coming to you tonight. I wanted to do my blog tonight via video to kind of just share a little bit about mindset, because I think it's more important to talk about mindset from the heart, and so you can hear about it as opposed to just reading about it. So I'm coming to you late on Sunday night. I was planning on coming on earlier and getting this done, but we ended up buying a little portable hot tub thing for sale sites on Facebook. Love them. Brand new in the box, never been used, never been opened. So we're really excited about having that and putting that out on this awesome deck that we have here. Hopefully we can insulate it enough so we can even use it in Alaska in the wintertime. Wish us luck. But anyway, let's get back to what we're here for. Let's talk about mindset. And mindset is so important, I believe, because it is the foundation for everything that we do, what we think, what we believe, what we do with our lives, what we follow, who we follow. So I really want to touch on a few things here when we talk about mindset. And mindset begins with the story that we've been telling ourselves for years. So think about, what story have you been telling yourself? That you are usually not good enough, strong enough, pretty enough, thin enough, whatever enough. And you're gonna have to apologize. I'm outside. My neighborhood dogs are howling. This is what it used to be like at my house, but they were like right here. So this is what sled dogs are all about. Mindset, I love it. Absolutely love listening to them howl. But anyway, back to the thing. But stories, what stories are we telling ourselves? So think about that. And what story are you telling yourself that you can't do something? So for example, I was chatting with a girl last week who has a dream of opening a business, and her business is a coffee shop. And so we were kind of chatting about it. She's like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't afford to do that right now. And I'm like, well, how can you maybe start to do something like that? And she was just like, well, no, I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'm working full time. I said, well, what about on the weekends? Is there a business that you can go to that's maybe looking for a coffee cart on the weekends when they're busier? You can serve their customers, really help their customers, maybe bring more people into their business, and then get your name out there. She was like, And so, don't you know, she started kind of thinking about that. So what I urge you to do is, when you tell yourself you can't do something, change that thought inside your head to, how can I? Because when you do how can I, then it makes your brain start thinking of ways that maybe you can do that. So that is like number one, is changing that story. And you also have to think about where that story is coming from. Usually it's coming from things that people have told us in the past, and that we started to believe. So when we started out as kids, we had like big dreams, big goals, and somebody told us, well, you can't do that. You don't want to do that. So guess what? We didn't. So start really, really thinking about that. Another thing where mindset is key, or where we get our mindset from, is the people we hang out with. I talk about this a lot in my First Love Yourself workshops, and this is something I will be working on quite a bit too. I have to work on it too sometimes, because it's who we hang out with. And over the years, I have had to, what I call, or we call, bless and release people. Because those people who are always negative, who are not there to support us, who are constantly negative, they just drag you down. So I talk to my women in my workshops, and we talk about basement people and balcony people. So basement people are those who say you are trying to climb and up level your life. You're trying to do something. You're trying to do something good for yourself. You are trying to lose weight, get fit, start eating healthy, whatever it might be. And other people will sabotage that. Say, oh, you can have a piece of cake. Why do you got to go work out? Come and have happy hour with us. So the balcony or the basement people are the ones that want to keep you. You're here with them and you're trying to up level yourself or better yourself, and they're there grabbing you by the feet and ankles and trying to pull you back down into the basement. So think about that. Who are those people in your life? Now, balcony people, on the other hand, are people who are up on that balcony. So as you are trying to rise out of that basement, you come up to the ground level, and the balcony people are up there with their hand reached out and saying, come on, you can do this. I'll help you. Who are those people? Surround yourself with more of those people. And then I urge my women in the workshops too. I want you to stop and think about, what kind of person are you? Are you a basement person or a balcony person? And there is sometimes some really aha moments. They may not verbalize it, but I can see it in their faces as I look around the room. I don't call anybody out on it, but because you know what? I used to be one of the basement people. I'm like, why do they want to do that? Oh my God. They're stupid. They're silly. But guess what? Stupid and silly people are the ones who change the world and live their dreams and fulfill their passions. So really, really, really think about, who are you hanging out with? Are they pulling you down or are they lifting you up? Very, very, very important. The next step that you can work on when you're talking about mindset is how to overcome them. We all have negative thoughts. I have negative thoughts all the time. I had a little thing here today. Mark can tell you about it. And he's like, well, aren't you the one that's always positive? Well, you know what? Sometimes we all have those thoughts, even as when we have, think we have, reached a certain level or what have you. We always have the thoughts. The thing is that we just overcome them. We don't let them consume us anymore. So what I also tell the women in my workshop is just acknowledge the thoughts. Acknowledge that little voice inside your head. We name the little voice inside of our head at the workshops. So we come up with names, we share the names. There's anything like you effing B to, the Green Gremlin, to Debbie Downer, or Negative Nancy is the one that I like to use. So how, you just acknowledge it, thank them for trying to protect you, and then move forward and move on and just make the next step. And then we also do a little exercise where what I call the movie projector or filming exercise. So when you get those negative thoughts that come at you, or negative words that come at you from some of those basement people, really what they're doing is they're projecting their thoughts about themselves onto us. So how you can release that is by literally thinking of them as a movie projector. So those of you who are of my era, we used to have film and movies, movie thing got rolled into the classroom and it was projected onto the screen, kind of like when we go to the movies. But at the end of the movie, it just was on a roller and kind of up it went, kind of like Shades and such. So what I share with the women in my workshops is pretend you are the movie screen. And as those negative words and thoughts are being bombarded at you, pretend you're that screen. And at the end of the movie, when that person goes away, or, roll that screen up and then pretend like it's back behind and everything gets garbled and, the snow is playing at the end of the movie, and just pretend that is those words and you can release them. So they're not being projected on you, they're projected on that screen, and you roll that screen up, boom, they're gone. That is one of the most important exercises that we do, and it works. I get messages from women occasionally saying, hey, guess what? I just had that happen to me and I used it and it worked. So a couple of other things I want to share. I don't want to have this too long, but there's a couple of other things you can do, and I'll be sharing this in my lifestyle program. Is we talk about I am statements and affirmations of I am. So you're taking those things that you want to be, that you aspire to be, or maybe you need work on or help with on that day, and you say I am strong, I am powerful, I am a good mother, I am. And it really, the more you say them, the more you start to believe them. And again, in the workshops, we actually get up, and I encourage the women to get up. They don't have to. Some sit down and from where they're at, but many do get up, and stand up. You have your feet a little bit wider than your hips, and I have them put their hands on their hips, get into their Wonder Woman stance. And it's kind of funny that Wonder Woman's out now. But get into that Wonder Woman stance and say, I am. And usually at that part of the workshop, and it's toward the end of the workshop, once people are more comfortable with themselves and with the others in the group, it gets very emotional. There's usually not a dry eye in the room, because you can see the women like breaking through that negative thought that they had in their head, their mindset's really changing. And it really, really helps. I also encourage you to journal. If you're going through stuff, remember when we were kids in diaries, and we're talking about, but the thing about our diary when we were kids was it was getting those thoughts out on paper and getting them out. So if you have the chance, just spend a couple of minutes, journal. Maybe even, we've got microphones on our phones. Just put it out in there and listen to it back at another time. It can really, really help. And lastly, one of the greatest things that you can do, I think I talked about this earlier, is taking that thought of you can't do something and changing it into how can I. Like today, I don't know if you saw my posting on Facebook earlier. If you go to it, I'll even maybe put a picture of it in the notes or something. But if you go to my Facebook page, it was beautiful here today. Summer is really fleeting in Alaska, especially interior Alaska. And we had a beautiful day, and I just did not want to be inside. And I have a computer. I don't have an umbrella on my table, and it was so bright. I was like, how can I still be outside, but not and still be able to see my computer screen because the glare was so bad. So I took a couple of boxes, a couple of boots, tall boots, XtraTufs. They're like the rubber boot of Alaska. Put a couple of towels over the top and kind of had a little box for me to see. But guess what? I got to spend 2 hours outside that I wouldn't have been able to had I been inside, or, had I not done that, because I had to have been inside to see my screen. So there you have some of my favorite tips for kind of getting over that negative mindset, and just know that you don't always have to be positive. It's just overcoming those negative voices, the negative words that come your way, and finding and releasing those basement people and hanging around more of the balcony people and becoming a balcony person. I hope y'all have a great time. Hope you enjoyed this. Please share this with somebody who you think that could really, really use this. There's so many people out there that just a little bit of encouragement will help them. If you haven't signed up yet, go back to the main page on our site and sign up for our newsletter, because you'll get these notices weekly into your inbox, so you don't have to go searching for it. We got all kinds of great stuff coming up, and I'm really, really, really excited to share them. First off, I will just do this real quick at the end here, is you can sign up, and there will be on this page on the bottom a place to sign up for a 5 days of inspiration. It is a free little thing. It'll come to your inbox every day. Just sign up. You'll get a welcome letter, and then 5 days, for the next 5 days, you will receive just some inspiration to your inbox. And it's just a way to kind of start getting you off on that right mindset. So yeah, go back to the page and just go down. I'll have a little button on the bottom here. So check it out, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great day.